Hey Ma, what's up? Welcome to the Season of Growth Summit. This summit was recorded back in 2019 and it was created for entrepreneurial moms like you to help you to create more time, slay your schedule, and to stop putting out fires. Now, although this was done a few years back, the information is still very relevant. And any links the ladies mentioned in their videos, disregard all current links have been put in the bottom show notes. So enjoy, grab your notepad, grab your favorite warm drink, and get ready to grow. Hey, this is Charmaine, and I want to welcome everybody to my third season of growth. As many of you know, I've done this before, but I've never had friends. And this year I said, why not do it with friends? Because I don't know everything. And the ladies that I chose know a whole bunch of ish, and they are much better at this than I am in these particular areas. So I wanted to give you guys some really good backdrop so that as you get ready to plan for the end of this year and the beginning of next, you have a really strong foundation of some things that you can do that will actually get you the results you desire. So today I have my main ace, Stacy Walker. This girl is bad. She works with your mindset, and she is fabulous in helping you to create goals that have a piece of accountability in it that help you to really soar and excel in what you're doing and how to set all that up. So I'm going to let her introduce herself and all that good stuff, and then we're going to jump right into it.
Hello. Thank you so much, Charmaine, for inviting me to this incredible event. And yes, I mean, this is great because you have some friends. We get to do some co-creation together and share some goodness for those of you who are watching or listening. I'm Stacy Walker. Known as a marketing strategist, business strategist. I'm a coach. I help women, mainly coaches, consultants, healers, accelerate the growth of their business through powerful collaborative strategies and uncomplicated marketing strategies so they can design an incredible life doing what they love and do it in a way that is in total alignment with their mission, vision, and personality, because there is no one size fits all when it comes to building a business. There's no one size fits all when it comes to marketing. So I think you can really make big strides when you're doing things that are aligned with you, that feel good to you, because you'll most likely do them.
Yeah. Yep. And so let's talk about that. Let's talk about how a lot of people, especially around this time of year, because this is the time of year where either you are doing a mad dash to finish the ish that you didn't like even remotely get started, the January piece, or you're really beginning to think about how this year didn't kind of go how you wanted because you didn't do any, you didn't have goals, and how a lot of the times when people set goals, how they are using a one-size-fit-all model. They're not thinking about the breadth of their life. So kind of talk about that and how women can start to set and create goals, that actually fit the 360 scope of their life.
Absolutely. And this is a big one because we can all create goals, and a lot of people don't accomplish them because they're only trying to do it to the T based on how somebody else taught them, and they're not really looking at what they want and also what's fitting into their life. Like right now, this time of year, things are kind of crazy in my household, and I know I'm not the only, you too, right? So I mean, it's been like a trial and error with me over the years since I've been an entrepreneur, trying to really like navigate and try to make this work, because I tried, checking off all the boxes with doing systems and trying to hit goals the way that other people teach. And I'm not saying that they're wrong. It's just it didn't work with me. It just did not work, because if it did, I would have stuck with it. So all of this trial and error led me to like how I actually teach the people that I work with achieving their goals. And that's why I'm always saying design an incredible life, because you want to make sure whatever you're doing is absolutely in alignment with the vision that you have for your future, right. Your family, the people that you love, and also the things that you're doing, you of course you got to be clear about them, but the only way that you're really going to be able to achieve your goals is to go into it knowing, okay, well, I don't have to do it the way that she does it or he does it, right? Because she and he, they got different support systems, they have different knowledge, we shouldn't even be looking at he or she over here, right? So we really need to focus on ourselves and take a look at, like, what are we able to do with the time that we have right now, and not really focus on what we don't have, because the thing that we do have, we all have 24 hours in a day. That's no different from anyone else.
That's
so no, it's not. And I know it's easy for us to say that we don't have time to do this and that, and it's like, no, you have time. It's just that you need to start switching around your priorities, start really figuring out, like, what's important to you and what's not really serving, like, the end goal that you want to create for yourself. So I like to do an exercise. I love Bob Proctor, and I talk about him at least once a day to somebody, and because that man has, like, definitely, like, made a huge shift in my mindset, because I used to not really believe in that. I used to think it was just a
bunch of
bunch of ish, right? And so I finally tried it out, and it's right. Like, everything starts with our mindset. Like, what we think, what we say definitely has an impact on the results that we create in our life. Like, we absolutely have control over this. So one thing that I like to do, and what I encourage people that I love and support, whether they're in my business or not, just people that I love in my life, I tell them, like, why don't you start trying to, like, step into that version of yourself who already has the thing that you want? Right. Like, what would you be doing? What would you be doing if you already had, the X amount of dollars a month, or if you had, your house paid off, if you had that dream car that you wanted, or if you were able to have more time in your, what would you be doing? Like, how would you be acting? What would you be doing? What would you be saying? Because once we realize that, okay, what I'm doing now isn't the version of myself that has the things that I want to accomplish. So having awareness around that, and it's not like to feel bad or to be down on yourself. It's just to give you awareness of, okay, there's some work that I can definitely do. So if I want to be that version of myself who has achieved that goal, well, what do I need to, like, chop out of my life right now that's not serving that goal? Right?
It creates that cognitive dissonance, just a little bit of, so you can go, wait a minute.
Right.
I say I want to show up, but this is how I'm living. How can I get to how I want to show up?
Yeah.
So used properly, exactly. It makes you start thinking in a different way on how you can get there. And that's so important, having that visualization piece when it comes to goals. Because if you can't see it, you're not going to do it.
Exactly. And the way that our minds work, we don't see in words, we see in images. So you're like, yeah, that's a Bob saying right there, right? So yeah, and it's true, we see in images. So being able to visualize and see ourselves, because I mean, that's where the magic really happens. That's when things really start changing for you, or can change for you. And like I said, people who are watching and listening, it's not to get down on yourself, because what you can do with this, you could take the negative side and say, well, shoot, I should be here or there by now. I should have accomplished this or that. It's like, no, you can't change what happened just like before a minute ago.
Start where you are now.
Right. Start where you are right now, and you'll adjust. But it's like one step at a time. You cannot expect, perfection. You're going to most likely slide back, but get back on, right? Because it's inevitable that you're going to reach your goal as long as you continue to move forward. So now that you have awareness around this, you got to really start taking a look at, like, what you're doing with your time. And is your life running you, or are you running your life? Is your day running you? You running your life? Is your family running you, or are you running your family? Same thing with everything, because I know there was a time when I would hit the alarm clock and then I would just hit the ground running. I didn't even have a moment to even think about like how I felt for that day because I was, too busy, taking care of my family, taking care of the house, taking care of the dogs, the husband, anybody else except me.
Right.
So once I realized, you know what, that's not how I want to be because it stresses me the F out, right? It stresses me out. And I don't want to live that way. I don't want to live that way. So I had to decide to make some time for me and only me. And it had to be at that time, it had to be at a god awful hour. It was like 3:30 in the morning, but that was like the only time
that you could have peace.
Yes. So I was like, okay, I can go to bed early, wake up later, or even if I go to bed late, I'll still wake up early and do this because just so you know, I mean, it's going to feel uncomfortable at first. And I don't like to sugarcoat any of this with anybody. It's going to be uncomfortable, but you can definitely do it. But once you start carving out time for yourself first, it'll be easier for you to stay focused on your goals because that's what that time's for. It's like, okay, what is it that you want to do today to move closer to your goal, right? And it doesn't have to be a laundry list of things. I like in my business, I have 3 goals that I need to accomplish in my business per workday. And anything after that,
it's gravy.
It's whatever. Yeah, it's whatever. Like I can choose to do it or not.
Yeah.
But those 3 things, that's doable. In my day with a toddler and me working in little bits and pieces of time that I have, it seems to work. So you need to take a look at what fits you, like what times during the day can you actually spend time with yourself. That way you can start properly planning out, how you're going to make this work. And you're going to find pockets of hours where maybe you were doing a bunch of nothing, right? I find pockets of hours doing this. Like sometimes I'll be cleaning when I don't even really necessarily have to clean.
It's avoidance, right?
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I'm cleaning something that I really didn't have to clean. So I have to like put blinders on and say, okay, let me do this. Let me knock this out. And then I'll get to that.
So once they have that awareness, which sounds like the first piece of pretty much what is it you're trying to get to, how exactly do you want this to play out in your day? Once they get that awareness, how can they turn that into the thing that they're trying to create? Like, is there a special wording that you have them use, or is it just writing that out and following through with it? Like, how does that process work?
Oh, okay. Well, this can work in several different ways, and you can choose one or all of the ways. It really just depends on where your level of belief is, and how you wake up in the morning. Because sometimes we wake up and we just don't want to do anything, right? And so writing it out is definitely, well, first visualizing, right? Then writing it out. Like what would your life look like? Like what would your life look like if you had the goals that you achieved and the things that you wanted, whatever it is. And you start writing that out like a story. You're like basically writing your own story, which is beautiful, which is perfect because you have the power to do that, whether you believe that right now or not. So writing that out. And then after that, I like to declare affirmations out loud. So what I'll do first, I'll read what I wrote out loud because our voice is so powerful. And I think it does something to our brain. I don't know what it is because I'm not a genius of the brain, but us hearing our own voice, it literally affirms. Like
it's like it's cemented in your subconscious.
Yes, in your subconscious. Yes, exactly. So you might not notice the difference at first. I know when I first started doing this, I kind of felt like a fool. Because my coach said do it, do it in the mirror and say it out loud, and who cares whoever's around you. And I would like be all secretive and trying to say it. But once I just kept up with it, it was easy for me to say, you know what, I could read out my incredible life. I could talk about it to whoever. Like it's a process. It is a process. So after you write it out, your affirmations, like your I am affirmations, like I am confident, I am successful, I am thin, I am paying my bills on time. I'm a money magnet. I'm an abundance queen. It really depends on what your goal is. Like whatever your goals are, they need to be aligned with your I am affirmations and saying them out loud. Like whenever I'm having a bad day, I'll look at those affirmations and I will start to read them out loud, and I will start swaying left to right, saying them out loud. I don't care who's around me, but I'm trying to change how
That
I feel.
frequency. Yeah.
Yeah, because how we feel, okay, first it goes with how we think, right? And then how we think determines how we feel. And then after we determines how we feel, determines what action we're going to take. And the actions that we take determines the results that we make.
Exactly.
So I try to go through that process. So thoughts, you're feeling with the affirmations, and then after this comes the action. So now that you've set yourself up to tweak your mindset, whether you notice any changes or not, you most likely will after doing that. You're going to feel good, especially after visualizing these things. It just happens. Our mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not. So it's very effective. So now you need to think about, okay, what are the goals? What are you going to accomplish for the day? Now, with me, where I am at right now, it's easier for me to actually plan out my entire year now. But when I first started, I know, right? But I break it down into quarters, right? So, but I like to plan out my entire year, even though things could change, things are fluid, you know, just the thing. That's the thing. That's a beautiful thing. You can create whatever. But I like to at least project. But I know in the beginning, I would just focus on at least just for the week. Okay, what can I do for the next 7 days? 3 things that will contribute to me getting closer to my goal.
And that is so important because, again, with a lot of the things that people have going on at the end of the year, they go, let's plan your next 90 days. Let's plan your 2020. And if you having a hell of a time planning out your day or your week, what's going to happen is that you're going to be really excited because you think this is going to fix it. And then by day number 3, you're going to be overwhelmed and you're going to be like, no, I'm not, this doesn't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so like she's saying, how you breaking it down. And I don't know if you guys were paying attention, but everything she was talking about was present tense. Yeah. It wasn't a, when I grow up, I'm going to be this. It was, I am. So noticing when you're setting those goals up and even the things for your day, I am, present tense it, because again, your subconscious doesn't know if this is future or present or past. It just is at that time. So making sure those things are in the present tense is so important.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah. Those.
Thank you. Yes. I love it. I love it. I love talking about this. So Charmaine, I'm glad that you mentioned that because it's easy for us to continue to focus on the past, and because what we believe up into this present moment is from our experiences of the past. So that's all that we have, our brain really has to work with. So that's why it's important to speak in the present tense. That's why it's important to visualize what you are going to accomplish. And you see, I'm saying what you are going to. I'm not saying maybe or what you will, right? It's what you're accomplishing. Like what you have to have this firm belief. And of course, you know, it might not happen right away. I mean, the thing with our mindsets, they're even when we are winning, our mind thinks we're losing, right? That it can go there. So with the 7 days, like just start small. That's what I did. I started small. Like if that's how I kind of like figured out, okay, I can do this, but if I think too far ahead, that just seems too big for me.
Yep.
So just being able to chunk it down and keep things simple. Keep things simple. I see so many people trying to do 20, 30, just going hard, you know, on their goal. And then they get burned out. And I've done this, I know, because I've done it. So if you stick to just 3 things or even just 1, if you can start with 1 and be consistent with it every day towards your goal,
then you add on.
Yeah. Like you're moving closer. It just depends on how fast you want to get there, really. But I mean, if this is something that you've struggled with achieving your goals and trying to set up a system that's going to work for you, I always say just keep it simple at first, because your body and your mind is going to catch up.
Right.
It's going to catch up. It's just that you don't have to do things that are like too overwhelming, because like I know that if I get too overwhelmed, I'm not doing anything.
No,
Yeah.
you shut down. You just absolutely shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And, then you go, it doesn't, like, that's when you go, it doesn't work for me.
Yeah. And the thing is that it will work. You just have to be just really aware of your thoughts, your feelings, what you're doing, the actions you're taking. And then also, I think support is a big thing too. Having other people around you, because maybe it's not the people that are in your household that really can support you with the goals that you want to achieve. That's okay. There's plenty of people that would be more than happy to keep you accountable, not even just keep accountable, but to be used as a sounding board, just to be able to continue moving forward, because we need the support. It's funny, that used to be the hardest thing for me to say, that I needed support, because I thought it made me weak, or I didn't know what I was doing.
Because we feel like for some reason we're supposed to have it all together.
Yeah.
And it's even, I'm not going to say as women, I'm going to be even more specific. As mothers, there's something about motherhood that makes you automatically think that I'm a woman, I should have this. I should be able to do this. And if I ask for help, then it means that I am not enough. Or like all of those start playing into your head. I want you to talk a little bit about accountability with goal setting and the type of accountability. Because I tell people a lot, like, if you and your best friend are trying to be on a diet together, but y'all go out and have ice cream every day, maybe you need a different accountability partner. But the type of accountability they should be looking for, and how that plays out in helping you achieve what you're trying to achieve.
Okay, so it took me a moment to really find the right people to hold me accountable, because I used to do exactly what you described right there. I'd go to my best friend and we'd set these goals, but they never got done, because I don't know why. It's just
talking about your kids and the household versus because I've done that too. You end up talking about everything else,
but the thing, right? Yes. So the way that I worked around this is, of course, if I'm going to surround myself around people that are going to hold me accountable, first of all, I need to let them know like what I'm working on. And it needs to be an honest conversation. Like, for me to hold somebody accountable, I need to care about them enough to know that they can do that thing, whatever they want it to do. So it's very important for the people that hold you accountable that they're going to be real with you, that they're going to check you, and that you're not going to get offended, right? Even if it's something that hurts, but you just have to remember it's for your benefit. So there's different types of accountability that you can have. Of course, they could be people, or it could be actual tools. Now let me start with the people. Now, of course, you could have accountability one-on-one with a coach that is, I can say, not going to be your friend, because I feel like my clients are my friends, but I got to put on the coach hat.
Right.
So you want to make sure that you have someone that is going to, if you say that you need accountability, that you need help, that person hears you out to know exactly what you need accountability on, first of all, and also like what have you tried before in the past to keep you accountable, because that feedback gives that person that you want to hold you accountable some information to make sure that she or he doesn't repeat the same, that falls short from the previous people, right? So being able to communicate is very important. So it's about just having a real honest conversation and being real with yourself, really. I mean, being real with yourself. Like, I am terrible with dates and times, and I don't even know what day it is, really. I mean, and people laugh at me when I say this, but it's true. Like, ever since I transitioned to entrepreneurship, I don't know what day it is anymore, because it's all like one day. So I know I had to have my assistant like keep me accountable on that. And she took care of my calendar. She takes care of my calendar too, but she holds me accountable. Because I told her that's where I fall short. So, and me being a business owner, that just kind of felt like, wow, that's kind of messed up that I can't do that. Right. So that's what I'm saying. There's no judgment, and you just got to be honest with yourself. You're not going to be good at everything, which is fine. That's fine. You have other people and other things to help you get better, right? Help you get better. So after you have that line of communication, then it's like, okay, let's set some guidelines up of like how the accountability is going to come into play in your life. So it could be a support group, whether that's online or offline, right? And that's a place where you check in, and also the other people that are going to be in there, they're going to keep you accountable. And you need that. You need the community, because everybody's working on something, right?
Right.
So this can work online or offline. Like I said, you can work one-on-one with someone too, and they can check in with you once a week, once every other week. It just really depends on what guidelines are set up for you. Like there, one way that I keep somebody accountable is totally different than the other person. That's why I said the communication is key first. That way you can set up systems and guidelines. Also, another thing is like writing down milestones, using calendars. I mean, we've got to track our progress. Like if we do not track what we're doing, we don't know where to improve and what to do away with. Like we just have no idea. We're just kind of just doing things. So and also with the accountability piece is that, you know, being able to involve other people in your life when it comes to you accomplishing goals, it does something to you. It does something. It lights fire under your butt, because it's easier for you to say that you're going to do something and you don't share it with anybody and you don't do it. But when you involve other people and tell them, guess what happens? You actually do it.
And especially people that will hold your feet to the fire.
Mm-hmm.
This is again why sometimes doing it with a friend or with people that you're kind of close to doesn't really work. It's with some goals that you have to have someone that maybe perhaps has been there or has a different set of experiences. I don't think accountability can be someone that has the exact same experiences as you,
right?
Or strengths, that they have to have a different set of strengths in order to support you, because they're supposed to be supporting you in the areas that you're weak.
Yeah.
If you're both weak at Krispy Kreme, this cannot be your partner not to go to Krispy Kreme with.
Right. Yeah.
You have to find a girl that goes to the juice bar instead. Like, you know, so it's knowing who those people are and being honest, like she said, like Stacie was saying, being honest with yourself about what those gaps are and what you need support with.
Yeah.
And, you know, not getting a fitness coach for your financial issues.
Right.
Pretty much. Or not joining this is why I don't like generic mindset and generic mastermind clubs.
Yep.
Because there is not a one size fits all for this. It really isn't. And you have to find a space or create a space where you can get the support you need in that area, or you know, whatever that looks like for you. You have to be able to have that support. So that's definitely important, is that accountability. And like you said, being accountable to yourself, that even when you talk to somebody and say, I'm going to do A, that you're like, wow, like their opinion is important, but how am I holding my own boundaries and holding my own self accountable? That does a lot to your self-esteem when you can't even stay accountable to yourself.
Yeah.
It does a lot. Trust, I know.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, depending on your personality, I mean, this is a big one. Depending on your personality, like me, like I've tried mastermind groups where there's a lot of people. I've tried like group programs where there's a lot of people, and it didn't work for me. So my business model is around like smaller groups and communities, depending on what their goals are. But it seems to work better for those that like a smaller environment that want that attention because they're able to move through.
Right.
They're able to move forward. It's just it does something just totally different with you if you've always been a part of like big groups, whether that's offline or offline, and it hasn't worked for you. I'd say try a smaller group, because that's when like people actually know who you are, right? You kind of get lost if there's too many people.
Yeah. And don't be afraid of the pricing of it. I think,
Right.
for me, that was one of my fears, like, because I felt like I didn't get anything out of the big group. The mindset was like, well, why would you pay for a smaller group? Like, wouldn't that be the same thing? And it's like, no, it is so not the same thing with either a one-on-one or a smaller group.
Right.
You tend to get to your destination a little bit faster because it's so much more concentrated, I think, with smaller.
Yeah.
And I'm really partial to smaller groups. I really am. I think big groups have their place.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But in regards to you trying to get focused support, a big group to me is not a place for you to get focused support, because a 10-minute, most big groups give you like 10 minutes of, like one-on-one coaching.
If that.
Not right. 10 minutes is not enough time for you to sit down, to digest, and help me to work through whatever it is I'm going on. Like that's not enough time.
No, it's not.
On that.
Yeah, the person can't really know you, and you can't even give enough information, because I've tried both. I've tried both, and you're so right. Like, it just really depends on what your goals are. Like right now, for example, I'm getting ready to join a program with YouTube marketing, because at the end of next year, I'm planning on like getting more serious with YouTube. Well, right now, I don't need a YouTube coach. Right now, I don't need a very small group. Like, I could be in a group when there's hundreds or thousands of people, because it's not a top priority. And I'm just trying to learn some things, but I'm not to that point to where, I need some fire under my butt in order to keep me accountable. But it's really going to depend on what your priority is, what your goals are, what your personality is. Like you say that you're partial to smaller groups. And I am too, when it comes to certain things.
Right.
So it's really about like, what is your personality type? Like, where do you see yourself excelling the most? Is it going to be with a smaller group of people, to where they have some time to really know who you are and understand your goals, understand your personality? Because like I said, like you're more exposed in a smaller group, because people will notice if you're not showing up. People will notice if you disappear for a while. So like I because I noticed it, and I say I'm watching everybody that I work with, because I'm going to do my part. I'm going to do my part. I'm going to reach out. But if the person is still not doing those things, it's like no one can believe in you more than yourself, right? Like, I can definitely hold a spot for somebody that's in a moment of disbelief to get them back on belief. But at the end of the day, you've got to believe in yourself, especially if other people are like behind your vision and behind like what you're doing. That says a lot. That really says a lot. So I know there, I've shared a lot today about all of this.
This has really been juicy. I told y'all this would be some bomb diamond dropping stuff. And it's like everything that Stacie is telling you is like the setup, right? Yeah. It's the setup. A lot of the times and I've been this way, you think you want somebody to give you the step-by-step. I know from working with her, she never gives you what you want, but she gives you what you need. And if you go through and really pull apart our interview, you'll see the nuggets in there, the awareness, the visualization pieces. These are the baseline. And I'm always talking about baseline, because I think we've gotten into this space where you go, oh, I want to do this. And it's like, here you go, stick it in the microwave, stir it and take it out. And I'm not about that life. I'm just not about that life. I want you to set a foundation so that no matter what else happens, you have this baseline you can come back to. And she's that baseline with the visualization piece, being aware of what you want and how you want to feel, having the systems in place to help keep you accountable, because the journey ain't easy. I know we all know this already. I'm not telling you ladies nothing new, but the journey ain't, it has ease to it, but there's parts that, just our life.
Yeah.
And having these pieces that she's talking about, it's almost like what you just did. It's almost like the book, The Science of Getting Rich. Like, if you don't know it, you have to, like, okay, wait a minute. What was that secret again? Like, go back. Repetition. Go back and listen to it. And those nuggets are there. They are there for you to help you to create that space.
Yeah.
Stacie, this has been so awesome.
Yes, I've loved it. I want to do this again. I can't not wait.
I want you to tell the ladies how they can find you, what you have for them, because all of those things are going to be underneath this video. Underneath her video, it's going to, her freebies and all that other stuff, and to link up with her. Like, seriously, she teaches you marketing yourself on a completely different level, on a deeper level, not just analytics and having the right copy. And, that stuff is important, but
yeah, it's important.
If you don't have that whole piece in place, you're going to be going around and around and around in a circle, and you'll be frustrated and going, it doesn't work.
Yeah. No, it works.
But there, again, is that baseline that people tend to leave out. So I'd love for you to share with the ladies, again, how they can hook up with you and what freebie you have for them. I'm excited.
Absolutely. So I can be found on Facebook or Instagram. If you put at Stacy A. Walker, you'll find me on either one of those places. My website is staciewalker.com. I have a Facebook group, Elite Society of Ambitious Women.
Thank you so much, Stacie. This has been so much fun, and I'm really excited for everyone to dig into this. I should have told you at the beginning to have like your notebook out and writing. I think I'll put like a thing at the above the video, so like, hey, bring your notebook out, like sit, get some tea and get comfy.
Yes. This is exciting. And thank you so much for having me. And it's been great.
Thanks so much for joining for day 2 for the season of growth. And I will see you ladies tomorrow. Bye, Stacie.
Bye.